Week is over. Today is Monday, back to square one. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. I know it sucks having to go to work on a Monday after having a good time over the weekend, but hey, how much more choice do we have, right? So we gotta return to work no matter how much of a blast we might have had during the weekend. So salute to you guys. How you guys doing? I'm doing well. Everything is fine. Um, I'm back again with another topic to discuss with you guys. So feel free to hit the like button as soon as you join the chat and let me know where you're tuning in from. I would really appreciate it. And this is the channel where I talk about African matters, African issues, all right? So a lot of us are faced with the same kind of problems, and this channel is more of like a middleman to discuss these issues because I, as an African guy, I relate to a lot of the issues that I talk about on my channel, all right? So I'm just going to allow a few more minutes uh, until you guys can join the chat, and then we'll have a conversation, all right? So please do me a favor. When you join the chat, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. And if you have doubts and you're wondering why you should subscribe to my YouTube channel, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Merval. I'm born and raised in Democratic Republic of Congo, but I currently live in the United States of America. I've been here for 13 years, and I do business in Congo. I started a pig barn. I started a farm, and I travel back and forth to run my business, basically. While at the same time, because I'm not ready to move there yet, I'm still kind of traveling back and forth. So I live in America, but then I also travel to Congo to manage my business or whatever. But yeah, that's all about me. But if you feel like you'll be interested in learning more about me and my journey in farming or doing business in Africa, stick around. And I am very, very happy to share my stories with you guys. And hopefully, you learn something from what I'm experiencing, right? Running my farm back in Congo. So let me fix this real quick. Oh man, it's been cloudy all weekend, and here we are. It hasn't cleared entirely yet. The sun isn't even out yet, so just we're gonna have to deal with this lights the way it is, because I feel like I'm not illuminated enough for this live stream, but that's okay. So guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, and as you join the chat, and I will really appreciate it. So how was your weekend? Let me know in the comment section. I'm just going to allow a little more time for other people to join before we get started, all right? So how was your weekend, guys? Communicate with me in the comment section. I would really appreciate it. You know, um, oh man, it sucks having to go back to work on Monday after having a blast over the weekend, right? So I'm sure we all feel the same way. Like I had a really, really good time on Saturday. I went to a friend's daughter's birthday party. It was a good time. I had a chance to hang out with friends that I haven't seen in a long time. That they were there. Um, Unfortunately, I had to work on Sunday, like I stated when I did my live stream on Saturday. When I'm offered to work overtime, right, I choose Saturdays over Sundays because I like Sundays to be my day off if I'm working, weekends or whatnot. But this weekend was a little different. Believe it or not, I worked yesterday, and here I am back on the road to work again, right? So without further ado, let's go straight to today's video. I don't want to waste any more of your time as I've always have. So, okay, guys, the title speaks for itself. Why you should not trust family members to run business for you back in Africa. Well, there are numerous reasons why, but I am just going to do the best that I can to discuss one of the most common ones that most people have gone through, right? To avoid this live stream to go over an hour, all right? Because we can talk about this topic for hours and hours, but I wanted to talk about this, right? So that some of you that relates to this topic can share your stories in the comment section below, right? And we can learn from one another. And while I'm just talking about this, I might probably have to share some of the stories about myself, some of the issues that I've gone through that I have not yet shared on my channel, right? So you guys know that if you're from an African, you're born in Africa and you have siblings, cousins, brothers, nephews, nieces, their tendency for some reason, if you make it in Africa, that you have to share your wealth with other family member as if you owe them something. I still don't understand the logic behind this, but guys, believe it or not, that's an issue. That's a problem. Whereas it may not be stated verbally, but the tendency proves that is the case. Because if you're the only one in your family that have the ability to come up with $200, $300, for some reason, most of their problems becomes your burden. So if your sister or your brother, whatever, they have a child who gets sick and they can afford to take them to the hospital, you're the one that they will rely on to pay for the medical fee, medical costs and everything like that, right? And it gets frustrating sometimes. I mean, someone like me personally, I don't mind. I only use money or help my family for emergency reasons like that. That's a medical issue. Somebody's going through medical problems and they don't have money. That's when you step in, all right? But it becomes more of like a requirement, right? An obligation from you that you have to do that because you are the only one with the ability to help out. But another problem is also when sometimes I pose these questions a lot is that, okay, before you coming to the West or moving somewhere else, or before you were able to make money that you make, whether you is still in Africa or you outside of the continent of Africa, you ask yourself questions of how have they been able to manage those issues before you had money like that, right? So somehow they still found a way to deal with those issues. But the moment you become financially stable, or you at least trying to, stabilize your financial situation, for some reason you owe the entire family, right? So that's why it is very important to live a normal life without flashing what you're wearing, without publishing on social media how much money you have, right? Otherwise, you just make yourself a target for others. So when they have a problem requiring financial assistance, they will come towards you, unfortunately, all right? So you don't want to put yourself in that kind of situation. Yo, good driving. True, I'm at Africa. Oh my God. There are people that showed up in the comment section. Anyways, I'm not going to let that distract me, all right? So here's the thing. Well, let's now get to the meat and potato of this topic. Why you should not trust your family members to run a business for you in Africa as a diasporans, right? So First of all, one of the issues is when you're living in America or you live in the West in general, and you still have a good portion of your family member, like still living in Africa, and when you start a business or you want to start something that will generate right some right the first thing on their mind, they know you got it, you have the money. The perception that everybody or every African that moves to the West somehow have money and they got it all figured out must stop. A lot of people, they're not starting business in Africa for their family. They're starting business in Africa for themselves because they know the reality of living in the West. So some people, they're trying to reduce dependency of working nonstop by establishing businesses in the motherland so that when they move there or they travel there to stay for a couple of weeks or whatnot, they don't have to bring their whole budget from the West. They can just depend on whatever income that they get from that job, right? From that enterprise, we could call it, right? But then family members, when they see that, they don't want to work anymore. They want to be the one more entitled to the family business. And believe it or not, depending on what you're doing, they will be around that business 24/7. And it's not going to be one person only. It will be multiple people as long as they know what you're doing. Because they know when they show up with their problems, whether they're fake or real, they're going to leave their house with something in their pockets. And if you're that type of family members who's always ready to give away, trust me, your business will not survive longer. And that's why it is very important to identify this issue. So when you are starting a business in Africa, you don't have to go back from the starting points. Because keep in mind, a lot of these families, they don't have no clue of what we go through here. All they see is just you having money, building something, and they think that they're entitled to it, right? But they have no clue what you have to go through here in order for you to establish such a thing, okay? That is why it is very, very important that us as diasporans, when we are establishing businesses, starting projects back in Africa, to actually bring to their attention that, listen, understand that what I'm doing, it is my own effort, and I would not allow anyone else to come in and ruin this for me. You have to have some, depending on how it feels comfortable for you to let them know that you're not messing around. It is the best course of action, because if you don't say anything, trust me, that just becomes a family business without even you passing the power or officially making it a family business, because that's how they look at it, right? If you make it, then that's it. You all entitled to the same privileges. But one thing they don't understand, they don't realize, is that the effort that you've put in, maybe you have taken a loan from the bank to start a business, all right, to start a building or whatever it is that you were doing in Africa, but you have to pay back, right? Maybe you know that, okay, what I'm investing in is going to pay off, and I will have enough money, right, to start making my payments back here. But there, they don't look at it like that. And the worst decision you will have to make when it comes to that is to trusting a family member as a manager to run the business for you. Trust me, if you still want to have a good relationship with your family, keep them away from running business, right? Keep them away from running your business, because you will have problems every single time until you're tired and you decide to pack your stuff and leave. We live in a world where economy all over the world has become more difficult for most citizens to go by. The little bit of the money that you make, it means a lot to you and your family. You should not allow anybody to take advantage of that, to take advantage of you like that, and then you having to start all over again. All right. You know how many people have died? How many people, how many Congolese or Africans have committed suicide because they have trusted their family members with an enormous amount of money to start a project, and they are sharing images of some neighbor who's building or who's running business next door. And when that family members from abroad decide to fly over there to see how the business is doing, only to find out that the business never existed in the first place, let alone didn't even start. Now they have a panic attack, or they have a heart attack, or something worse can happen. Some of them even went far to committing a suicide. I'm gonna tell you a story that went viral on social media in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'd say probably uh, 7 or 8 years ago. It was a family member. It was some guy, right, who trusted his own son and his brother, who's his son's uncle, to build a house. It was like a three-story buildings, who was supposed to have a total of, I believe, 16 or maybe 12 apartments. It's either like 3 apartments per stories, and it was 3 stories, right? So this guy lived in Europe. He lived in the UK for like his entire life. I believe that was his retirement money that he had. So he decided that he wanted to build a 3-story buildings and build apartments, so he have people living in there, so he can have some sort of income while living in Congo, because that was his goal, to move back to the continent, right? So his own blood, and his brother, they did him dirty. Guess what they did the entire time? So every time it was this, I mean, actually they had purchased the property, but they just never like built anything within it. But then there was a neighbor who was building something similar to what this guy was building. So basically what they did, they were taking images, videos, pictures of the construction taking place, right? And sending it to the brother in the UK. So this guy is very excited. The building is almost over. So he's like, all right, it's cool. He's planning a trip to go to Congo. And I don't understand how people can be so cold. You have convinced someone who you, by the way, robbed of their money, and they advised you that they were flying down there to see the progress. And you assure them that, okay, we can't wait till you get here. If that's not luring somebody into a suicide, I don't know what to call that. But long story short, this guy flies to Congo, Kinshasa, and gets there, right? So he calls his son and his brother. They were supposed to meet there at the location. So this guy, he, sees people building. They're already working on finishes or whatnot. He walks up to one of the guys, right? He introduced himself as the owner of the building, right? Some guys looked at him. It's like, no, you're not. The owner of this building is it was somebody who was a construction guy who knew the owner of the building. He said, well, the person who owns this building lives in Norway, and he was just here, and he flew back to Norway. Are you coming here claiming this is a problem? So they were threatening to call the cops on him. It's like, whoa, hold on, wait a second. My son is my brother. They're about to pull up, so we'll see. They're pulled up. He asks them, so, what's going on? I'm talking to these guys here. They're telling me the owner of this building. So the uncle has the nerves to say, listen, There was some issues with the transactions or whatever. Well, the whole time you never started projects, so they only presented him with the foundation, dude. This dude walked into a foundation, but the building's supposed to be done by the time he flew down there to, see the progress for himself. This guy, he sat down, he's broke down in tears, told his son, is like, I can't believe you can be a part of this mafia to hurt me and you and my son. So whatever explanations this kid was trying to come up with, it didn't go well. So the guy goes down to a nearby pharmacy. He buys some sort of medicine that he buy. It bought. He drank it, then went back. The dude stabbed himself to death. Literally, he stabbed himself. By the time they took him to the hospital, he had already bled out. And yeah, lost his life. It was on the news and everything. I still remember this. Back then, I wasn't even thinking about starting any sort of investment. So now I'm talking about it. It came back to my head. So you guys know the level of bitterness and monstrosity that some people have, lack of sympathy or empathy. Some people are heartless. They don't care what you go through here to establish a business back in Africa. For them, it is an opportunity to make money off of your effort. It is the opportunity to, and here's the thing. The funniest thing about all of that is most people, right, they'll do you dirty like that, but they don't even have a plan. If I was planning on doing somebody dirty like that, at least I would either try to take the business away from them. Most people, they won't even try to do that. What they were trying to do is just to ruin you, right? They'll try to make it impossible for you to ever considering to continue to run your business like that. Let me check this. I had just pulled in the driveway. I had just pulled in the garage, right? All right, let me get this out of here. So I had just pulled into the garage. I'm sitting here for a little bit because I'm a little early, so you guys and I can chat. All right. Yeah, what's up, B? I'm chilling, brother. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Oh yeah, man. I'll see you in there. So, and now think about it for a minute. You have put in effort, time to build your business. Then you hire your family member to run it for you. And one time you decide to fly to Africa to see how your business is doing. But your business actually never existed. How are you going to feel about that? That is why I always tell people, listen, if you want to invest in Africa, it's a good thing, but keep in mind, you just can't trust everybody like that. I would rather you go down there by yourself. If you're building a house, depending how much money you have to send, I would highly advise you flying over there, staying, right? Like hire a contractor, have them built while you're there. So when you reach a certain point where, okay, you have run out of your budget and you want to go back, work more, save up more, and then continue, pause it, then resume when you go back for this next time again to continue. I understand there are still people that can be trusted. I'm not saying that you cannot trust, like everybody, they're untrustworthy. Now, there are trustworthy people still in Congo or in Africa. But you really have to do your due diligence and take the time to identify every single one of them, right? Before you feel comfortable trusting them with your money like that. Because what happens most of the time is when people move to the West, they start making all this money. They trust an old friend that they thought that they can trust because they have no idea that the friend hasn't been out. They have no reality of living abroad, and they may not see things the same way you do. And that same person will end up hurting you. So to protect your friendship or relationship or whatever the relationship status may be, is by staying away from doing that. You just can't be business partners with family members. You just can't trust family members, with running business for you like that, especially in most African countries. The moment you do that, understand you just made that business theirs. That's how they look at it. In your absence, they're running that business as if it belonged to them. They're not going to do anything that you would like to be done. They will do things their own way. They will be spending money as if they built a business. These things happen a lot often in Africa than you can possibly imagine. That's why diasporans these days, they don't make those mistakes anymore again. They don't make those mistakes ever again. I'm still investing in Africa, right? If you guys watch my videos, you saw me build a pig barn and my house that I just built. I was never there when I did that. So which means that there are still people to be trusted. But understand it's still not going to be done in a certain manner that you would hope, you would want it to be done, right? But I'm happy enough to at least congratulate my team, my brother, and everybody that were involved in the process of building my pig barn and my house that I just built on my farm. Because I looked at it, all right, I don't need to physically be there if it only gonna cost me $3,000 or $2,500 to build the house. You guys understand what I'm saying? I probably should have gone when my pig barn was being built because that one took a little more money than building my house that I just built. But that's okay because I trust people that were building for me at the time. But at the same time, I also had a lot going on here in America. That's why I didn't fly over there to build it myself while I was there, right? But understand, if I trust someone, it doesn't mean I'll trust everybody. There are still things to be considered here. I would never put myself in such a situation where I'm making my money that I'm working so hard for and then send it to someone who doesn't understand the struggles that I have to go through to come up with the money to start the projects that I started, right? And that person will be 100% a beneficiary of your efforts. But then you, on the other hand, will have to, start over or pay back the bank if you took out a loan to finance such a project, because they don't have hearts. They don't care whether you took out a loan or however you came up with it. That's me. That's why personally, what I've done recently, you see, when I built my house within my farmland, I didn't even inform any of my family members. The only person that knew about it was my brother, because my brother's always been around since I started my farming journey. He knew about it, and I also made sure that I talked to him not to share that with anybody, not even my mom, nobody. It was until after it wasn't until after the house was actually complete, then I shared pictures with my siblings. Now they were in shock. All right. They were like, oh, wow, this is so beautiful. Congratulations or whatever. But if I had shared that with them from the beginning, everybody would have had an opinion, and some of them were trying to discourage you or whatever. It's best to be discreet as you do certain things and then reveal the results at the end. Because a lot of the time most people are doing things in Africa, they're not discreet about it. They will just let the whole world know about what they're doing. And trust me, your project will fall apart before even it starts, because that's how bitter and ill-minded some people are. They don't want to see you do better. And trust me, as crazy as this may sound, your family members will be happy that you will succeed, but they would not be happy to see you succeed more than they are. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't really want to see you more successful than they are. So that's why it's very important to keep certain things, as a secret, to keep it from your family. That's just actually protecting you and protecting your family as well. Because the moment your family find out about what you got going on in the motherland, you make yourself a target. All right, whether it is to always having to respond to this request, demands, or whatever the case may be, not knowing that you are spending money to actually accomplish a project that would help you and potentially help them. Because if you're out here in the West and your family are in need, you don't always have to take out money from your paycheck that already get garnished from these taxes that we pay here, right? But you can just have somebody there and go out there and meet them with the money. You understand what I'm saying? So that's very crucial. Please do not trust your family members to run your business for you. If that's what you're planning on doing, where you're still here in America or in the West in general, but then you want to have someone else run the business because you feel that you want to give it a shot, you want to give it a lot more time before you can decide to move down there to run it yourself, I would rather you hire someone outside that you've conducted a background on it. I mean, not like a legitimate background, but you have people that can testify that indeed that this guy is a good guy, and that person should not have some sort of family ties with you. So that person, because they have a salary, they have a job to wake up every morning to go to, they will abide by everything you tell them. They will abide by all the rules. And that is why I would want to see most of you do. Because you may help out your family member or support them financially, but under no circumstance you trust your family members to run your business for you. Because trust me, it'll be family drama, it'll be family issues all the time. For instance, if you want to give your family member a reprimand because they have done something wrong, right, running your business, trust me, the whole family will come together. They'll call you, have you sit down. They will explain to you why it is important to let things go, that you shouldn't be so difficult or tough with your family members or your brother, whatever the case may be. But they don't understand that you are the one spending money. You are hurt the most, but somehow you become a villain because you had to stand up for yourself, because the only person that know the value of your establishment is yourself, because you know how much time and effort he had taken you to get to where you are, right? Because they have not spent the money, they don't know what it took you to actually be able to build such a business. They will never understand where you're coming from, your standpoint. And that's why it is crucial to always consider people who are professionals that right, that are not family members, to bring them on board and have them run your business for you. That you will be more successful than trusting family members to run a business for you. Trust me. If you don't believe me, go ahead and do it and see the results. I don't want to get into my own personal stories because I've told enough of it, probably in the next videos, because I don't really feel like sharing them. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting here for a long time. I just pulled into the garage. I'm ready to go I'm ready to go and work, get change, and go make money for myself. And that's how I, by the way, pay for everything that I got going on in Africa. All right, guys, so if you happen to find this live stream for the first time and you don't know about the channel, my name is Mervel. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mervel. I'm from Democratic Republic of Congo, but I currently live in America. I'm running a farm in Congo, which still is in the building phase. But as of now, the pig barn is constructed, the house is constructed. We're in the process of bringing the first load of pigs by the end of this week or probably next week, which I will also share with you guys. Stay tuned, stay subscribed, and make sure you keep those alerts turned on because I will share those videos with you. And of course, my journey. And yes, I appreciate you guys hanging out here with me and taking the time to hear me out. Until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Happy Monday and enjoy the rest of your week. Peace out.